More than half the people in the world access the internet on mobile devices instead of desktop computers. And if you just have a mobile device, you can still learn to code. In this tutorial, you will learn about apps and resources you can use to code on an Android device.
Hey, what's up? How you doing? Welcome to this tutorial on DeezMaster. Alright, so this is my first time on freeCodeCamp here. So I'm making this tutorial on how to code on phone. Alright, so this tutorial is basically for those that don't have a system, or for those that have a system and is willing to, continue on phone once they are like out of, they are not in contact with their laptop or their personal computer and they want to just work on go. Alright, so this is actually for you. So this tutorial I'm going to be looking at how you can get started coding on your phone, the tools you're going to be learning on your phone, and we're going to look at how you can actually code Python. You're going to actually code using Python on our phone. Alright, so without further ado, let's just dive into it. Okay, good. So the first thing you're going to be looking at is that alright, so I have this phone. It has a little spec. Is it going to be able to work for what I need? Yeah, I just want to tell you, you don't need to jailbreak your phone. You don't need to root your phone. You don't need to do anything. You just use your phone, of course. I'm going to show you my phone actually. So I should go to my phone. You can see I'm using Tecno Spark 5 Pro, which is just 3 gig RAM and 64 gig space and just Android 10. So you can see 3 gig RAM. It does not matter, even though your phone is 2 gig RAM. Yeah, you can still continue with this. And the other thing is that this is actually supported on the Android devices. I have not used iOS. I didn't have iOS. I would have explored more on how I can make use of iOS. Alright, so without further ado, let's just dive into it. Alright, so the first thing we need to look at is so before we actually dive into it, I am Precious Oladale from Nigeria. I am a backend developer. I build games and applications at my spare time. Yeah, I'm an aspiring machine learning engineer. I'm also that dude that's published coding on phone article on freeCodeCamp. So I have an article on running Python on freeCodeCamp and also running Laravel on freeCodeCamp. On your phone, I mean, sorry. Okay, so without actually any further ado, let's just dive into it. Alright, so just a freeCodeCamp. Yeah, you can just visit freeCodeCamp. You want to learn things, just go ahead and learn things you want to learn. So let's get started by looking at, is it possible to code on phone? Sorry, is it possible to code on an Android phone? Alright, so yes, you can see the answer here is what? Yes, you can do programming on your phone. You just need to install some app which lets you do so. You can also try the online compiler from Google Play Store as it supports C to C++. So this tutorial here, the first thing you're going to be looking at is work with online compilers. So let's go ahead and search for online compilers. Online compiler. So we have this this is a C online compiler. Yeah, I don't know how to write C. I don't write C programming language, but this is a C compiler where you can actually just run your C code here. You can see the output is hello world. Okay, so there's actually the one we can actually work with. I think is on this IDE on IDE1.com or this JDodo.com. So let's go ahead and check this out. So we can go ahead and use the IDE1.com. You can see this has a Java here. So this is Java. I think we should be able to change our programming language exactly how you can do it. So you can have program language 2 to 3, it's Python. So Python 3. So if we should go ahead and switch Python 3, I should be able to go ahead and do maybe small tar print. Sorry. Hello what? Okay. Just if I should run this, yeah, you can be seeing it's actually running, and you can see the output. The output generated is what hello world. So this is how you can run your stuff. This is the one where you can run applications. Yeah, and you're also thinking about, oh yeah, I don't want to do Python. I want to focus on web development. I want to run HTML, CSS on my phone. Am I going to do that? Yeah, we can go ahead and just go ahead and search for W3 schools. Try it. So we have this try it editor for W3 schools. Yeah, so you can just go ahead and do H1. Sorry. Yeah, and the disadvantage about it is that it doesn't actually very like work on your mobile phone. You will need to switch, like, I think, desktop mode for this to actually work very well. So let's go and switch to desktop mode. All right, so I think, yeah, that's that. So we can go ahead and let's try and test this out. So we can go H1 hello world. So go ahead and close the H1. Yeah, you should run this. You can see we have hello world. So this is another way you can run your stuff. You can run your CSS also. All right, good. And the other option there for this is you can use Codepen. So Codepen lets you write code, write codes, and it's basically built for front-end engineers, front-end developers, those that write React, CSS, Vue, and everything you want to do. So your HTML and CSS, this is the right place for you to actually dive into. Yeah, once again, you can just go ahead and click on Start Coding. You can see we have HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and we have the results page. So what you write here, it's actually what's going to be results. So let's try and do H6, and you can see it auto loads by itself. So it auto load. You don't need to click on a run button for it to load, and we don't need to set it to a desktop mode. You can see we have H6, which is the smallest of all. All right, beautiful. So we've actually covered how we can run this online. Now let's go ahead and look at how can we actually run this stuff on our phone. Yeah, so let's do that. All right, and note that everything I just listed is you can actually access it also on your laptop. If you have a laptop, you can go ahead and use the online compilers if you want to. All right, so I'm just recommending that for people that want to use phone. If you think your phone can't actually run what you're trying to do, you can go ahead and use the online compiler. Right, so what we want to do is go ahead and open the Play Store. So this is Google Play Store. So the first thing we want to do is let's go ahead and download an application called Unwriter. So I have Unwriter installed already. So let me just go ahead and like update this. Okay, this is not allowing me to update. Well, I think I have that installed already. So make sure you install this. Well, once that is installed, let's go ahead and open it up. So this is Unwriter here. Unwriter has text formatting for almost program language. You can see this is actually jQuery in this place. Okay, this is jQuery. It asks for PHP, it asks for JavaScript, it asks for HTML. Right, so the same way you have a save, copy, paste. You can see we have this helpers here. We have this helpers here. You can see acronym on how to code. Yes, we have fake caption. That's everything H1 to H6 header. You can even select the HTML5 template, and boom, you have this. You can go ahead and do hello world. So you click on the play button. This play button right under here. Click on the play button. Okay, so you can see the play button. I'm just gonna bring up my brush, and yeah, so this play button here. So you can go ahead and click on that to run our code. And once you want to save your code, you can go ahead and click on this save button here. So click on that. So once that is, as you can see, it has an automatic name which is no-name.html. You can go ahead and rename this to anything you want, like say index.html. Select your path, or you create a new directory here. So I'm just gonna save it in this place. You can see the full version, which is known as PHP and auto. You can see it supports PHP and SQL auto completion support. So it is your choice. So if you want to actually get the full version, but the free version is actually good to work with. All right. So let's run this. Hello world. The same way we can go ahead and do. We can do. Maybe we can go ahead and do. Yeah, we can do JavaScript. So let's do scripts. A lot. Yes. So let's go down, close. You can see it's auto closing that body for us. So let's close the script ourselves. You can see it has formatted it, and you can see we have a lot of yes. All right. So the same way you can also add CSS. Alright, so you can go ahead and add CSS. I'm not very good at CSS. I'm a backend developer, but let's try. Sorry. Let's do body, background. I think this background color should be red. Let's go ahead and close the style. Sorry. Because I run this. Now you can see we have this. You can see it's even formatted about our CSS for us. So you can see maybe how to do color should be what? White. Run this, yes, yeah. So we have this. So go ahead and save this. Now there's another app. Now you can be taking a look at this. Is actually good, but doesn't look a little bit like Visual Studio Code. If you want an app that look like Visual Studio Code, then you have to go ahead and download this particular application called Treb Edit. So this Treb Edit is what we're going to download. So I have that installed already. So let's go ahead and open it up. This Treb Edit right here. So Treb Edit looks almost exactly like Visual Studio Code. It's like makes you embed Visual Studio Code on your phone. So you can go ahead and click on text space. So you see text space, you have workspace, get source code. You can also learn how to code. So I go ahead and click on text space, then text editor. You can see we have everything we need. So I'm just gonna close these files. These files are when I was teaching some students how to code on phone. Yeah, you can see we have our open file. This is the workspace here, HTML, CSS. So I'm just gonna open up a file here. So I'm opening this file. So this was actually, I was actually explaining dimensions CSS to an 8 years old kid using phone because he doesn't have a laptop. So the purpose of making all this tutorial is to encourage people to actually get into tech, now be able to just use what they have. All right, so this is it there. So you can go ahead and just click on this play button here. So this play button here. All right, so click on the play button. Now this is actually it. This has also purposes. You can refresh. This has device emulator to check responsiveness. You can open this in your device browser. So this file are going to be loaded into the device browser. Okay, he said it copied the correct path for us. Let's paste and see. In some cases it doesn't work, so it's better you just test on the app itself. And sometimes it works. So let's just let's try this out. Yeah, there's no access. See, access was denied, so you can actually access it, but you can make sure you can use the app to just do what you want. And we also have console. So how I click the console was I clicked on this. So that's gonna bring out the JavaScript console for you. So you can go ahead and do console.log. Yes. Alright, so you can see you have console.log. Yes, I think click on the play. So you have to click on this play button here. Okay, so click on the play button. So you can also have console.error. Yeah, it is gonna work. Let's check it out. Error, and let's click on play. You can see we have error. So this is actually the JavaScript console. We can make use of the JavaScript console in this place. Alright, so it's just as simple as it. So I recommend you using this app actually. This app actually serves well. As we can switch from desktop mode to phone mode. So this desktop mode here, and this is the phone mode here. Alright, good. So we've actually seen how to run HTML and CSS on with JavaScript on our phone. Now let's look at how we can actually learn how to run Python on phone. So I wrote this article on writing Python on phone, on actually writing Django on phone, and I made use of something we call PyDraw 3. So you can go over to freeCodeCamp and look for PyDraw. So PyDraw is a Python, it's a Python kind of stuff that allows you to run Python on your phone. So it's like it's an embedded system of Python application generally that allows you to run Python on your phone. So this is what we're going to be working with. So let's head over to Play Store and install Pydroid 3. So I have it installed already, so you can go ahead and install Pydroid 3. So let's open it up. So this is what we have here. So we have a terminal. You can see there's a premium one. So the premium one allows you to make use of TensorFlow and other machine learning stuff you want to use, but you can just make use of what we want now. So we have terminal. We can go ahead and do print hello world. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. So let's do print hello world. We should run this unexpected word. Yeah, I don't know why this is giving my error. Okay, because we are actually trying to run it from the terminal here. It didn't actually work. So we need to have to write our code here. Hello world. So let's run this. You can see we have hello world written here. So this is it. This is where we're gonna be starting our Python tutorial on phone. Right, see you next time, and let's dive. Right, so the last time we actually run our hello world code, so which is this right here. So let's go ahead and save this. So to save this, we can go ahead and just click on this button right here. So let's go ahead and click on this. Click on save right here. So click on the internal storage. I'm gonna create a new storage here. I'm gonna call this py2. So that's Python tutorial. I'm gonna select this folder and save this as my hello world.py. So this is hello world.py. So that has been done. So we've learned how to create hello world in Python. So let's look at the other things. So this print can accept a string. So a string is basically this hello world. A string is just set of characters, set of alphabets. So this is a string here. A string is just this rubbish I'm typing. And always know that a string is always quoted either with a double quote like this or with a single quote like this. And you can say, yeah, I use a single quote. It doesn't matter. You can use a double quote. I use a single quote. All right. So and print can also take in integers. So if I should go ahead and do print 5, you can say I have 5. Yeah. So let's wait for this ads. Yeah. You can print integer. We can also print the ball. I said bowling. We can also print a floating number. And you can also check the type. So let's go ahead and check our type. So we should go ahead and do print type. So we should run this. Like I said, I have a class of strings. So that's telling us that the hello world is a string. Like I said, it is a set of alphabets, meaning it is a string. So the same way we have print 5, that's going to be type of 5. It's going to give us a class of int. So int is actually integer. The same way you can go ahead and do type of 51.6. You can see that's a float. So a float is a decimal number. Is a decimal number. So the last one you can do is print type of true. Let's do true. Yeah, so true is not defined. I think it's capital letter T. Yep, which is a ball. So a ball is a bowling. The ball is just true or false, 1 or 0, yes or no. So that's a bowling. All right, so that is covered. Let's save that. So let's go ahead and create a new file. Click on the place, create a new file. By clicking on new. Okay. So this new file, we're going to make now the variables. So what are variables? Variables are just, how would I call them? I can say they're like local storages and where we can store information for future use. Let's take a look at freeCodeCamp. Let's take a look at Google and let's search what are variables in programming. Always make sure to learn how to research on your own. Alright, so variables are data values that can change when the user is asked a question. For example, the age variable may change during the program execution. Yes. So that is to say, you can have a variable assigned like age equals to 18, which is already assigned, then you can decide to change the variable later in the future. Like I said, I call it a local storage that stores information, and information can change and update anytime you want it to. All right. So let's go ahead and create a variable. So to create a variable, we don't need to pass anything there. We just need to assign our variable name and assign it to what we want to pass it to. So I'm going to assign x equals to 5. So once that is that, I can go ahead and do print x. And you can see I have 5. Why? Because x is now equals to 5. Because x is now equals to 5. So that's how we create a variable. It's not like JavaScript, so we have to do either let, var, or const to create variable, or PHP where you have to assign the $sign. No, you just have to give it your name and equals to assign it to the value you want to pass it to. I can go ahead and do name equals to freeCodeCamp. Alright, so I can go ahead and print name. I can see we have freeCodeCamp. The same way you can do addition or subtraction. Let us do sum equals to 2 plus 2. So let's do sum. So you have 4, right? So this is just variable in Python, and a variable can either be an integer, which is the first one I did, x equals to 5. It can be an int, which is the second one, freeCodeCamp, and it can be a float number. So I can do, let's do fl equals to 61.5, and it can also be let's do a boolean. Let's just say bool equals to true. So we can go ahead and just do, yeah, so I don't want to do if else now. You're going to be looking at that in the future. So we can add this. So the same way we did everything, we can do type of x. Type of x is equals to what? Is an integer. Exactly. So we can also do it like that. So the variable just makes it easy for us to store information and make reference to it back. All right, so let's go ahead and save this, and we've covered what the variables actually is. So instead of going back there, look at this here. So we have this last open. Here we go. We can go ahead and click on that and see our file is there. Select folder, and let's name this vr, or name it variable.py. All right, good. So just so you know, our Python file is always saved as a .py extension. Right, good. So next you want to look at is conditional statements in Python. So we have different type of conditional statement. We're going to be looking at the if statement. So before that, you can see I wrote an hash and I wrote an if. So this is a comment here. This is a comment. So a comment is a part of code that does not get executed. If I should run this, nothing comes on the screen because it is a comment. I've commented it. But if I should like comment this now, you can see it's going to be white on, sorry, I shall comment this. It's going to be white. If I should run this, I should be getting an error because I wrote a string. I just wrote a text and it wanted to run it as a code, which is actually wrong. So let's go ahead and just comment this so that it doesn't run the code. So the first one, look at if statement. So this is just a condition statement checking if 10 is less than 20, I want to do this. If my morning is enough to get a MacBook Pro, I want you to buy it. So that is what the idea. So we can go ahead and do create a variable money equals to, let's do 1000, and let's do if money is less than 5000. Sorry, yeah, in Python we don't do brackets, so it's supposed to be if money less than 5000, then we have to do this. You can see that is a semicolon. Click on enter, it will auto index it for you. If it doesn't, that means you have to specify 4 space 1 2 3 4. But it's also better, it's always better to just put your colon and let it auto index for you. And let's do print need to save more. So let's run this. You can see I have need to save more. Why? Because 1000 is actually lesser than 5000. All right, so if I should actually like change this to this and like run this, yeah, nothing will be up in this screen because 1000 is greater than 000. All right, I hope you understand what I'm saying. So that is if statement. So that is an if statement. I just change this to 1000. Yeah, you'll be reasoning that, okay, is it must I create a variable? No, you can just pass in it here like this 1000. I'll run this. You can say I need to save one because 1000 is less than 2000, but it's always better to save it in variable and just call it anytime you need it. So the next one we're going to be looking at is if else. So else. So now the idea here is that if the money, I'm going to push this up, okay? If the money is less than 2000, I wanted to say need to save more else. So we have to close this indentation. So once it's else must be in the level of the if. Then add the exclamation mark again. So I said, sorry, not exclamation mark, semicolon. So the semicolon is called an indentation. So it creates an indentation for us. So this space below it, the first space is an indentation itself. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 is an indentation. So it must be indented for your code to run with, because if I should have this and I do print, yes, if I should run this, and I should, yeah, we did not get an error because the first code was actually true. But if it was wrong, let's say I have this, you should be getting an error. Sorry. Okay, so let's run this. I should be getting an error. I say expected indexed block. So it was not well indexed. It was not well indexed. All right. So let's go ahead and just do this back, and you can see we have yes. So which is as a buy MacBook. All right, good. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'll just run this. You can see I buy MacBook because my money is actually higher than the 0000 here. So let's just leave that. So we also have something we call a leaf. So this is actually like if the money is less than 1000, I need to save more. Else if the money is actually greater than 500, I need to do this, then else. So okay, so let's go ahead and just do that. So let's do, it must be in the same level as them. So I leave money, sorry, I leave money greater than 500. Let's do as a print by HP. So I should run this. Now you can see I have by HP. Why? Because the first one returned a false. Yeah, this wasn't true because our money is actually greater than 000. But it now went to the second statement here, which is the money greater than 500, which is actually true because 1000 is actually greater than 500. But if this is the second one is not true, then it's going to return the last one. So I should add a 0 here, making it 5000. And I run this, you can see it's run the last one, which is the buy MacBook. All right, so that is basically the idea of if else. Let's go ahead and save this. So you can save this as select folder and save this as conditional dot py. All right, so that is that. So the next one we're going to be looking at is let's take a look at how we can create lists in Python. All right, so to create a list in Python, let's go ahead and create a variable called my list. Sorry, my list. And to create a list in Python, we just have to equals to just create this bracket side. I don't know what this bracket is called. I think it's square bracket. Yeah, so we just need to create a square bracket. So we can go ahead and assign this to Apple. I'm just going to delete it so I can be able to read that. Orange, banana. Okay, so let's close that. So I should go ahead and just print my list. Like I have it, so you can see we have the list printed out. Okay, so we can actually check if this is the list kind of system because we can do type my list. I can see we have a class of list. So this is telling us that okay, so what you are trying to pass to me is actually a list. So now how can we get each of these lists out there? So we can go ahead and get each of these lists out by doing by lists and selecting the first index by 0. Because in programming, to count is actually from 0. So the apple is 0. The apple is represented as 0. Why the orange is represented as 1? Why the banana is represented as 2? Right, that's actually how we count in program. Okay, good. So I'm selecting the first thing. This is Apple. So if I should run this, I should be having an Apple. So the same way, if I should select index of one, in this case, we should be having an orange. Select the index of 2 in this case, showing a banana. Right, basically that is how it works. And we can also do some things like check the length of the list. So we can do print length, which is my list. It's not sure this is just 3. Yeah, because we have just 3 character 1, 2, 3, which is actually 0, 1, 2, 3. All right, good. So I think there's actually another way you can create a list. Let's do second list equals to, I use the list keyword. I think we just have to pass a double curly brace, double brackets, and do Apple. So delete this so I can read that orange. So I don't actually use this one, just want to check it. So let's close this bracket and let's print second list. So I should run this. Like you can see, we have it created the list for us. Let's actually check and confirm if it's actually a list. Okay, so let's go ahead and do type of second list. So let's run this. As we have a class of lists. So this is actually you can create a list in Python, right? So let's go ahead and save this. This is a crash course on Python. If you need a full tutorial on Python, just head over to the freeCodeCamp channel. Go down. There's a lot of 6 hours tutorial on Python. You can exactly what it did there. You can follow it on your phone. There's no drawback. There's nothing. You can just do exactly what is there. Let's say this as a list. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to be checking is on functions in Python. So let's go ahead and close this. I just want to close this to free up this space. Sorry, to free up this space. So let's do functions in Python. So to write a function in Python, we have to use the def keyword. So this def keyword, then followed by the name of our function. Let's say hello. Then a bracket. Say hello. Then a bracket. I'll go ahead and do this and do. Sorry, no bracket. I mean, so this. Let's do print. Yes. Let's do hello. I should run this. Yeah. So we have an error that says. Sorry. I actually have to pause that because of noise. Sorry. Yeah, we actually in the bracket. I think I forgot that here. We need the bracket. Sorry about that. So every function needs a parenthesis around it. So let's run this. You can see nothing happened. Why? Because we need to return it. So let's go ahead and do return. No, we don't need to. I think I was coding in PHP. We don't need to return. We just have to say hello. Just type it out. I'll run this so you can see we have hello there. So let's go ahead and we can pass a parameter in this. We can pass name. So we can do hello. Sorry. Hello plus space plus name. So we need to specify. If we should run this now, we should get an error. Missing one required positional argument, which is in this place right here. Okay, so we need to pass in something there. So which is inside this hello. So we need to pass a string. I think precious. Run this. Because you have hello precious. Now look at this. This plus 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 is a little bit stressful. There's an easy way you can do that by just using the f string, which is this. We can still f string, then add a quote, do hello. So we can specify the variable, which is the name like this, and includes that. If we should run this, you can see we have hello precious. We should add changes to like 4. We should have hello 4. All right. So anything you pass in there will be returned back. Yeah, before we forget, let's save this, and I want to show you one last thing. Let's save this as a function .py. So I want to show last thing. Let's open our file. Not this. Let's open our file, which is in the Py2. Just gonna, okay, so this is it here, which is the list. So let's try and look through this. So for I in my list, so we are looking at the for loop here. For I in my list, let's print I. So I should run this. Like I see we have everything has been created at apple, orange, banana. So that's how we create for loop in Python. If you also have the while, so you can say while true print subscribe now. So you should run this. So this will keep running forever because it's actually true. There's no field, there's no drawback, there's nothing. So it just keeps running. So subscribe and just keeps running. That is a while. So you can actually just dig dive into it as you can do it. And again, like I said, there's a lot of Python tutorial because you can go and look into it. All right. So for the last part of this module, or coding with Pro, we are going to be looking at some data science stuff and machine learning stuff that comes built in with PyDrive. All right. So see you next time. All right. So now let's just dive into that. So what I want to do is go head over to sample. Now you can build Android application or your app on your Android phone. So I'm going to be showing you that is another application, but we can also do that with Python using something we call Kiwi. So this is a Kiwi. So we have this Kiwi hello world. So let's go ahead and open this. So this is a simple Kiwi application. So we should run this now. So it's going to create a Kiwi mobile application sample for us. So this is just an hello world running on the screen. Okay, sorry. So my internet connection is on, so I keep seeing this ads. So this is it here. So this returns a button of text hello world. So there's a lot of actually samples there you can look into. We have matplotlib for data science or plotting of data. Open this. So you have to install the matplotlib directory, the matplotlib module. So let's wait for that to install. Okay, you can see it has installed successfully. So let's go back. We can go ahead and run this now. This is actually going to create a plot for us on the screen using matplotlib. So you can see we are running matplotlib on our phone, which is actually amazing. Can zoom this, can do whatever you want to do with it. That's all these features here, right? You can also run TensorFlow for machine learning on your phone. Yes, but you need to get the premium version. So that is the only disadvantages about that. You can see TensorFlow, OpenCV, and PyTorch, which is actually very, very wow. So we have scikit-learn, which you can actually use for just machine learning. So you can go ahead and use this for machine learning. So we have this digit recognition to recognize digits, to classify digits. So this is just classification algorithm in machine learning. So this is going to classify it. It's a coefficient matrix, and this is everything. So if you want to look into machine learning, you can start with scikit-learn to just get into it. Then you can move to TensorFlow, then go to deep learning using PyTorch or whatever you want to use. And yeah, the same way we also have Pygame. I think they built a simple game in this Pygame. Yeah, I think it's just full screen. So let's extract this. So let's run this. I think it's a Flappy Bird game built with Pygame on the phone. Yeah, it's Flappy Bird games. Let's try this again. Okay, so yeah, I think this has turned to a gaming stuff. Yeah, so that is actually it. Good. So you can see you can do machine learning, you can do whatever you want to do. I talked about building Android apps on your phone. So to build Android app on your phone, you need to install some particular application. I'm not going to be installing it. I'm not going to be showing it here, but you can go ahead and check it out. So you can install something we call Java ID. Java ND, yeah, this is Android Builder. So this allows you to build Android applications on your phone. You can see it allows you to build Android applications on your phone. The most popular one everyone uses is AIDE. So AIDE is just for Android development. It allows you to build Android apps They even have tutorials you can follow to learn as a new beginner in Android development. So you can go ahead and install this. And if you're that type that doesn't want to like code Java to learn how to do this, go ahead and just download Sketchware. So this is just a drag and drop stuff that's allowed to code. I think it got removed from Play Store due to support, like no funding support. So you can go ahead and just go to Chrome. It has been stored on some other people's website. Go ahead and download Sketchware. I think I have Sketchware somewhere. Yeah, I don't have Sketchware. All right, so about that is done. Then let's take a look at how can you actually run some minus command. So if you're that type that is actually into ethical hacking, you will install in hacking. So go ahead and download Tamox. So Tamox is a Linux-based system you should have on your phone. So this is just it right here. So you can run anything you want to run on it. So we have I think we have the Git. Yeah, we have the Git. So you have to install the Git package, which by installing by packaging install Git. I have actually run Ubuntu using Tamox on my phone before with a VNC viewer, which is very wow. So you can do anything on it. You can do Metasploit on it. You can install Kali Linux, use VNC, you just run into the terminal or whatever you want to use. Then you can also use this as Linux-based system to install Node.js. You can install Python, install Ruby on Rails, install Rust. Just follow the Linux installation way. It's gonna work on the Tamox. It's as simple as that. It's gonna exist this. And last but not the least, I'm gonna be looking at in this video is how you can create 3D games on your phone. So if you want to create games on your phone, specifically 3Ds, you can use Struct app. So Struct app as well allows you to create 3D application on your phone, 3D games, asset. So you can have these games here. So the only disadvantage about the game is that it can only the people on the platform can play your game. You can actually share to your friends using a link. You can't actually compile it as an application. So if you should like go ahead and let's test out this game, you can see the amount of people, the people that have played this game has 50,000 likes. So let's play this game and see how it actually works. I think I should be able to rotate my screen. Let's wait for this to load. Alright, so this has loaded up. You'll not be able to hear the sound because I'm connected with the microphone right now. And you can see I have a game. This is a game created by somebody. And you can also go ahead and create your game. Yeah, so there's no limit to actually what you can do. Yes, I'm about to die in this game. I'm actually very, very horrible at it. Else is just let's see, let's just collide and let's let the life reduce and see what happens. Wow, so the reversing is insane. So let's just minus 15 again. Also say something. Boom, 16. Yeah, it's taking forever to die. I'm just gonna quit the game. Alright, so you can explore this Struct app, create your own 3D game by just clicking on build. Yeah, so this was a sample game I did for my YouTube video. So that was that. You can go ahead and create a new game, or you can use templates, available templates, edit them and make them interesting like for yours. Alright, so that is actually all in this video. And please, this is my first time uploading on freeCodeCamp, so you can go ahead and show me support by heading over to YouTube and heading over to the school and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have tutorials on coding on phone that you'll be actually interested in. And if you want more coding on phone tutorials, please comment section and peace. See you next time. Thanks. Hey, alright, so before actually ending this video, I was hooked up with a Android developer team on freeCodeCamp by Mr. Sir Quincy. Alright, yeah, Sir Quincy. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Yeah, so I was hooked up with a new freeCodeCamp application that's actually being created. So I was sent the preview mode. So I'm gonna explain how it works in this application. So basically, this is just the the preview mode. The application is still in progress, so you guys should just wait for it, turn out for it, and just, if there's a newsletter to get an update that the app is already launched, make sure you just subscribe to it, because the app is actually a banger. So it actually has everything in it. So this is actually the free code camp application here. So what this does is that it fetches the news field from the freeCodeCamp itself. So instead of like heading over to freeCodeCamp.com, freeCodeCamp.org, you can basically just open the freeCodeCamp application in front, and you can dive into what you want to read. All right, so you have this post by Anya here. You can click on it here. You can say this is an actual post that you can actually read, and there's also other option where you can bookline for offline usage. So in case you want to read this when you're offline, when you're not online, you can actually bookmark it. I'm just gonna bookmark. Then you can open this in the browser actually. So this is going to open the blog post in the URL. And you can see exactly what we have there is being opened there. So the app is still in progress, so there's a lot to come. You can see the news is there. So we have the link. So this link is just a part on the website where you will sign up to learn how to code for free. That's why it is called Free Code Camp, where you learn how to code for free. So you can go ahead and just get started, just log in and start using the mobile app instead of you to like go to the website every now and then, or when you're not on your laptop, or when your laptop battery is dead, like we are in Nigeria, there's no light every day. You can just go ahead and use the mobile application, use your mobile phone, and just learn on the go. So we also have podcasts where you can listen to podcasts. You can also download podcasts. Yeah, so this is still working. Yeah, so I think they're still working on the podcast feature here. So it's still on progress. It's still in development process, the way I'm reviewing this. So you guys should just stay tuned for it. It's gonna be out. So we also have the radio, where you like listen to radio. I actually don't know there's code radio where you're listening to free code camp on radio stuff. I actually don't know, but this is actually amazing. So you listen to the 247 music design for coding. Okay, so this is I think this is a music designed for coding. Yes. So if you want to code, the type of songs you should be listening to, I think this is what it is about. All right. Then last but not least is the donate button. Yeah. So every little support you give to freeCodeCamp helps a lot. So even though it's $5, $2, $100, any amount you donate is actually very good. So just go ahead and help us do more. So you can see the app is actually good. So we can see our bookmark there. So sorry, meaning if I should go ahead and like bookmark this, I think I should be able to see it in the bookmark here. I can be able to open it back. Right, so the same way I can just bookmark this. Right, so it is not here. Yeah, you can also search for articles. You can see latest articles here. How to build Instagram clone with React Native. Wow. So this the one thing I like about freeCodeCamp is that it has intensive knowledge. I literally don't see the reason why you should go ahead and buy courses when you can actually just learn this. Just a Instagram clone that covers almost everything: React Native, Firebase, Firestore, Redux, and Expo. Yeah, as simple as it covers everything in just basically not less than 6 hours, 5 hours. I don't know. So this is actually an amazing start if you want to build complex application. And the same way, there's a lot of things you can learn: JavaScript, how to write even good documentation. As a documentation, when you're contributing to open source or you're building an open source project, you should be able to write good documentation, highlighting accurate notes, like it's listed over there. You should be able to highlight your code. Don't neglect prerequisite knowledge. Yeah, so knowledge that you think that not necessary, don't neglect it. Just add everything you think is possible to be added. All right, so yeah, that is just being intensive when you are writing a good documentation. And yeah, everything you need is actually in this place here. It's actually in this place here. So the only thing I just found out is that for iPhone users, iOS users, yeah, there's a way you can actually code your phone. When I was teaching web design in a school, yeah, I had to install an application for iOS. Just go to your app store and search for code editor or HTML editor for just type HTML editor on your app store or code editor. So you're gonna see some code editor you can use, either the one that runs HTML, CSS, JavaScript, or hopefully you see the one that runs even Python or whatever. Hold on. And yeah, the last time we talked about Python 3 being the way we can run Python. Yeah, there's another way you can run Python. I would have suggested you use Tamux, because Tamux has been breaking down recently. I think the is not be updated, so the PKG is actually breaking down. So if I should go ahead and do install Python here, I think it's actually breaking down. So let's wait for this to finish up. Okay, as you can see now, what I'm seeing, so it's actually giving repository is under maintenance, or it is down. Yeah, so it's been doing like that when I've been trying to install packages that are like Node.js, Python with using PKG or AP to install. So that's why I really recommend you actually using this until it's actually fixed. Yeah, so if it's fixed, don't worry, you get an update from me. Then let's go to Play Store. There's another way you can run this, but the best way is actually to use a Python. In case you don't want to use something that is big, that consumes space a lot, you can use QPython. So QPython is also a Python emulator. You can see this. So it has everything you actually need, the same way the Python 3 is, and this is just, it has less space, but Python 3 is more relevant than it. All right, so basically that is all for this tutorial. And if you need more of how to code on phone, please don't forget to just comment down below, and I'll be able to work it up for you. If you need me to build a to-do app using Django, using Laravel, using CodeIgniter 4 or your phone, or if you need a front end using Tailwind CSS, yeah, we should be able to use the CDN. It says the node is not working, the Tamux is not working, we should be able to use the CDN. So just comment down below and I'll see what I can do into it. All right, see you next time, and peace.